sharpen iron. My understanding is that you can completely rebuild your guy from scratch and use the VC that you had used to build your guy originally to just use him. The gameplay is going to be so different from what it is today to then that it's not even people.
Welcome back, y'all. It's your boy Melly. I got another reaction for y'all, man. I'm back. And it's something that's near and dear to me from a creator who I've been watching for years. I would say one of my favorite creators, the Black Hokage. And it's on the notorious Ronnie2K. If you don't know who Ronnie is, he's going to cover that in the video. But I'm assuming this video going to cover a lot of 2K, the basketball game. Something that's near and dear to me. And now that I'm like at the end of my 2K run, I know if you've seen the memes, it's like I retired in such and such year. I really feel like I've retired from playing 2K competitively, like in the rec, on park, online. I really don't have the urge to do it anymore. I want to play other games, and it's a mixture of the microtransactions and like I don't know, it's just not fun to me no more. And if you do play 2K, no shade, no shots towards you if you want to play 2K, bro. I played it for a long time. I spent the money on the VC. I grinded my badges. I did everything. I had a couple builds every year. So if that's what you like to do, bro, no hate on you. But I think I stopped buying it the first day it dropped and pre-ordering. Like I stopped about 2 going on 3 years now. So yeah, man. Shout out to the Black Hokage. Let's get into this video. But before we do that, make sure, this is critical, that you like this video. It helps us out in the algorithm tremendously and it boosts us. And subscribe. You can join the family. We'd love to have you here. But without further ado, let's get into the video, man.
The impression people get from you is that you feel like you're above us.
And just because the world's shut down doesn't mean that you have to be shut down. Like this is a real great time to sharpen iron. My understanding is that you can completely rebuild your guy from scratch and use the VC that you had used to build your guy originally to just use him. The gameplay is going to be so different from what it is today to then that it's not even. People jump to conclusions.
I know this is like a cut and it's edited of different times he was saying things, but if you know Ronnie, you know he be lying. You know he be lying, and it's so clear to tell that he is lying, bro. You've never been able to. I don't even know he said this. You've never been able to X a player out, delete him, and get your VC back and put it into another player. Once you spend that 50, that 100, 200, whatever you spent, it's gone, brother. You're not getting it back to put it into a new guy.
Conclusions
I
on what they
wish,
saw
but
in terms of the
it's not how it
neighborhood in
works.
this trailer. That's not the neighborhood, but you guys can think whatever you want. You don't want to build 17 my players. You don't have to. You can respec it so many times. I believe you can respec as many times as you want.
When it comes to success, for a lot of things, it really just comes down to your ability to identify a problem or a gap in the market, then providing a solution. A solution so good that it can't be easily replicated or stolen by the competition. This is why poet Maya Angelou once said, you have to dare to be different. Different can mean a lot of things. An example being there's fame, and then there's infamy. And there's nobody more infamous in the gaming community than Ronnie2K. NBA 2K's current acting head of digital lifestyle marketing. He first started out as NBA 2K's community manager back in 2008, but many of us, including myself, hadn't heard of him until around 2K14 to the 18 days. See, as the game grew in popularity due to game modes such as My Career, Park, and My Team, the community began to express frustrations with the series on various social media platforms. It was there the world began to notice red flags about this guy, which later led to some of the most drama-filled moments in gaming history. Hi, my name's the Black Hokage, aka TBH, and to be honest, stick around to the end of this video because we're going to be diving deep into who exactly is Ronnie2K and why his name is so infamous within the 2K community. Before we do that, let's first learn about his Ronnie Singh, better known as Ronnie2K, or as Flight likes to call him, was born November 14th, 1982, to two loving parents in the great republic known as California. Both his parents were blue-collar, hardworking citizens, with his father being a truck driver and his mother being a seamstress. In his youth, he would attend Redwood High School, which is just 11 miles north of San Francisco. It was there that a young Ronald developed his passion for sports. He specifically took a liking to basketball, which shouldn't be a shocker to anyone. Being an 80s baby meant that a young Ronald grew up watching legends such as Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. Ronnie became so enamored with the sport that he even tried out for his high school varsity basketball team. And despite him standing at an impressive 6'3", he never made the team.
I would live and breathe. I'd play after school hours at a time. By junior year, I was 6'1", and that hurt like hell. Like to grow that fast.
To grow, yeah.
And also, like I was shooting.
Man, this unrelated, but that gotta suck, bruh. Cause this the one sport you get picked on height. And like in high school, I don't know if you went to a big school or not, but like 6'3", you darn near a shoe in to be on the team, bro. Like at least be a big man. But again, I don't know what the Bay Area looked like. I don't know what he was playing for, but I gotta be sickening, bruh. Not make the team. He was tall. You big for nothing.
Why my shot keep going further and further away?
So naturally, he did what a lot of failed athletes.
Oh, so he was trash. Okay, he admitted he was trash. I mean, so you was playing, but like you weren't getting the results you was hoping for.
High school. He went from snatching up rebounds off of the glass to snatching his school's microphone during home games to shout.
It's my turn! You told me it was my turn!
It was there during those high school games that Ronnie found a new passion and a new calling called sports media. This early involvement in sports media would go on to lie the foundation for his future career in sports marketing and social media. But he knew he needed a solid education to make it in that field. So upon graduating high school, Ronald attended the University of California at San Diego, go Tritons, where he earned his degree in economic management science with a minor in law. Upon graduating in 2004, Ronald joined
Minor in law. I'm trying to think. Like, did he just said I'm gonna do sports on the side? Because going the law route is usually if you want to go into sports, it's you go get a communications major, or you get a journalism major or something like that, or you minor in something. One of those two things if you want to go into media or into sportscasting, anything sports related. At least be sports marketing, sports management, something. Be an agent, like
Ronald joined the job market.
So I'm wondering how you wound up where you did.
For a couple of different firms such as Morrison Forrester and Fisher and Richardson. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Before Ronald spent all of his free time arguing with people online, he was helping lawyers argue in real life. And I have a sneaky suspicion that being a legal assistant is where Ronald developed his passion for arguing with people. The thing is, though, when dealing with the court system, it requires someone capable of debating without involving their emotions, and that's something we all know Ronald isn't capable of. So Ronald sought work elsewhere. Being a legal assistant is cool, but he wouldn't continue that line of work long because deep down he knew the hardwood was calling his name.
I didn't think law was going to be what I thought it was going to be. I picture, like the movies. I picture, like a lot of the things that partners do, watching Suits or something. It wasn't that. And not that I wasn't dedicated to it, but I wasn't passionate the way I was passionate to sports.
So he left the legal field and he decided to take a job working in the NWBL. Now, for those of you unaware, the NWBL stands for the National Women's Basketball League. It was a semi-pro women's basketball league that was founded in 1997. Ronnie.
Hey, hold on. Let me check this out. I mean, that's a nice little run with three teams, though. That's a little league. Can you even be a champion if you?
Ronnie
only
served
three
as the
teams,
director of media relations for the San Diego Siege. In their one lone season, they had a respectable 14-4 record during the regular season. This earned them the #1 seed in the playoffs, and they even made it to the finals before eventually being defeated by the Colorado Chill. Ronnie was responsible for coordinating with the players and organizing press conferences pre and post game. Sadly, the San Diego Siege folded in 2006, and eventually the entire NWBL did as well in 2007. This left a young Ronald unemployed and looking for new work. But it wouldn't be long before he found another another gig. See, his hard work and determination led him to earning the role of director of operations for the San Diego Surf Dogs baseball team. The Surf Dogs was a minor league baseball team based out of San Diego. They were affiliated with 3 separate circuits, including the Golden Baseball League, the Arizona Winter League, and the Arizona Summer League. They were the 2005 GBL champs and the 2010 Arizona Summer League champs. Ronnie's first major W in marketing came with this team, and it was because he managed to sign the legendary juicer Jose Canseco to the Surf Dogs.
We were looking to make a splash. And so they asked, they're like, "Hey, Ronnie, do you know anyone by, like we were all brainstorming, like, well, I just happen to know Jose Canseco as a kid." It was right at the height of, him releasing the Juice book. So we brought Jose on. A few days later, he found out we had a team in Long Beach. And he's like, "My daughter lives in Long Beach. Please trade me there." Then when he came back to visit us as an away player with the Long Beach Armada, he faced off against us. And the night before, me and my staff went to Bonds and bought a bunch of grape juice boxes and stickers of his face. I don't remember where we found the stickers of his face, but we basically applied a sticker of his face on all the juice boxes.
Man, I don't lie, that's creative. That's a creative little move, Ronald. It's a creative little move. Because I don't know nothing about baseball, but I do know that, obviously steroids, the juice.
And turned it into
but
one of the bigger
hey,
viral moments before social media that, we could fathom. It was on SportsCenter, it was everywhere.
Now, because this was the minor leagues in the early 2000s, I couldn't find videos on this. I also couldn't find footage of the SportsCenter coverage, but I did manage to find an article on ESPN.com that dates back to 2006, referencing the Jose Canseco Juice Box Night. So this was a very real thing. Now, I know I've been cracking jokes here and there, but I give credit when credit is due. That marketing play from Ronnie was pretty clever. That man had juicing accusations all over him at the time, and they played into it by creating custom juice boxes to give away to the fans. You could argue that's an early form of trolling, a skill set that Ronnie would find later useful in his tenure on social media, because it wasn't long after the Jose Canseco stuff that Ronnie went from the minor leagues to the big leagues as 2Ks.
Man, how you land this job though? This is such a niche job. All right, let's see where it goes.
According to Ronald, he had been playing NBA 2K since the original game released on the Dreamcast and had Iverson on the cover, but he didn't really start taking the game seriously until about NBA 2K5. He claims he had a lot more free time to play the game when the minor league teams that he worked for were on the road, so that's what he did. He also spent some of that free time frequenting the 2K message boards. It was there in those forums where he built his name by creating interesting posts and conversations surrounding the latest game.
I was a super fan, and then I was sitting in those forums both before I started 2K and at the beginning. Really prepares you for the way that you market, the way that you customer service, the way that you develop a game, and everything that you need to understand it comes from the consumer and listening to them. And so that was a
It's funny. It's funny he say that because I know this is in his older day, but he talking about listening to the consumer. I don't think he listened to the consumer since 2K20, bro. And even then, I think 2K20 it was going off the deep end. But I'm gonna let you cook, bro.
Eventually, 2K took notice and they reached out to him for a job interview.
Like, how much influence?
Interview and the Jose Canseco stuff on his resume, Ronald joined 2K Games as their community manager sometime in 2008. According to him, 2K originally contracted Ronnie to only run their forums and nothing more. For this reason, he was hesitant to take the job because he saw the landscape was shifting more towards social media. Having that foresight, though, he took it upon himself to dip his toes into social media, with his platform of choice being Twitter. It was there you could find him tweeting away about the latest sports news in NBA 2K. Social media back then was a different place. Everyone wasn't worried about their brand, and there was no serious FTC regulations on social media marketing, so people tended to be more honest back then. It made me curious to know what was Ronald like back in those early days of being community manager. So I used the Internet Archive.
Very much a 10-foot run. Let's just say he could dunk.
to pull up some screenshots from July 2009. And I found a
nasty.
couple of interesting tweets without having to dig too much.
They were
Like
so
these tweets, for
nasty,
example.
bro.
What if I told you I had the first NBA 2K10 screenshots and I'm gonna share them with our most loyal 2K sports fans? DM me and you'll get it. Retweet my last update and spread the word. Now, the interesting thing about those tweets is if we take a look at his then profile, it states Ronnie2K is your source for everything 2K sports. Want the newest info? Want to win great swag? Want the inside on where we can tweet up? Drop a line. Now, if we ignore all the data slang he used in his bio, you'll notice he doesn't specifically state he worked for 2K in 2009. Keep in mind, he started in 2008. His words, not mine. So he definitely was an employee in 09. His bio comes across like one of those modern day fan pages that update you on news such as 2K Intel or Charlie Intel. Matter of fact, just so you don't think I'm reaching, let's take a look at Charlie Intel's page. In their bio, it states, we cover all things Call of Duty and general gaming news. That includes Black Ops 6, Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, mobile, Xbox, PlayStation, and Activision. That literally sounds like a Call of Duty version of Ronald's Twitter bio from 2009. So you might be wondering, well, where are you going with this? I just find it funny that when Ronnie2K first began his community manager duties, he took it upon himself to cosplay as some type of NBA 2K info leaker. It's just so ironic the type of content creator he talks shit about and won't invite to community day this day and age, you know, the leaker, is the exact type of content creator he was back in the day.
Like that. But he wasn't technically a leaker, bro. He was just he was a shell, for lack of a better words. I can't think of it. He was a shell for 2K. So I think this was more on him because he was using Twitter, like social media. Like we said, we just saw Twitter, bro. This is the early days of social media. So I'm knowing these companies, most of the advertising is coming through like Game Informer or something, or you hearing it at your local GameStop, or you seeing it in commercials. That's how you figured out what was going on with 2K. Like I get on YouTube and look up 2K whatever trailers, and that's how I figured everything out. So I think it was him not telling everybody that he works for 2K made people trust him.
See how people forgot.
So he really wasn't ever a leaker.
The only reason why what he was doing back then wasn't problematic is because of the lack of FTC regulations on social media in 2009. So legally, technically, he didn't do anything wrong at the time, but he did have in his bio he was doing giveaways and didn't state that he was working for just little shady. And just for comparison, here's the community manager for Fortnite. Here's the community manager for Call of Duty. And here's the community manager for the upcoming and currently unreleased at the time of this recording, Monster Hunter Wilds. This is the norm for games. Transparency. Not pretending like you're some type of insider leaker or giving DMs to fans if they retweet you. I don't know how 2K got away with omitting this information for so long. It was so bad that people had to figure out through interactions who he actually was. And who he actually was, a lot of people weren't fans of. See, 2K really started to come into its own around 2K14 when the park was first introduced. This new arcade-style game mode ushered in a new era of 2K fans that have been chasing that high of NBA 2K14, 15, 16, and 17 ever since. Shoot, one of those people is me.
Y'all know I'm the nicest on the court, right? Watch this. We are the boys in motion. We give you RD4.
Bro, this take me back, bro. This camera angle crazy though. But this take me back because for Christmas I asked for 2K14, bro. I asked for 2K14 for Christmas specifically, and I wanted a PlayStation. I wanted 2K14. My mom bought me a laptop. I love my mom. I needed that laptop at the moment. She was like, "You need this laptop for school and not the game." So I got you the laptop. Boy, was I sick. And what did I do? I had to live vicariously through these trolling videos. A Jigaboo Jones. And that softened the blow a little bit until I could eventually get a PlayStation and play 2K14 with my My Player dog. Shit just took me back.
Oh, drop it to the
nostalgia
hoop.
kick.
Pass it to Josh. I'm passing the psych. Oh! Oh shit, I'm like a box of Frosted Flakes on the court, nigga. I'm sweet.
Now, despite him being a little deceiving about his role at the company, early Ronnie2K seemed much less problematic. It didn't really seem like there was any ill intent in him not clearly stating he was the community manager. Honestly, it could have just been negligence. But with the rise of profits and the popularity in the game, there was also a rise in Ronnie's arrogance, as I'm sure he probably felt some responsibility for 2K reaching new heights. The thing is, though, the more eyes on your game means there's also more opinions floating around, and you have to have thick skin to handle the critiques. See, not everyone would be a fan of the way Ronald conducted himself online. In 2017, then Wizards guard John Wall was not happy about his player rating in the upcoming game. Wall would receive a 90 overall rating in 2K18, and upon learning this news, Wall took to Twitter to tell Ronnie he was a joke. A bit of an overreaction, in my opinion, because it's just a game, but Mr. Wall felt slighted because in the 2017-18 season, he had averaged 20 points, 10 assists, and 4 rebounds on 42% shooting. The two gentlemen exchanged a few words back and forth on Twitter before Wall eventually blocked Ronnie.
Yeah, what'd he say? 90 not good enough, bro? What about last year? You started at 87, ended at a 93. You always move it up, bro. All good, bro. Ended up with a 90 and we could try a 93. All right, like this last little part.
I mean, I've definitely
He
got
trolling,
some
cuz.
flamey DMs. John Walton has right now blocked me after the whole 90 thing, which is kind of funny. But because him and I have always been really good friends, but
Yeah.
maybe he's not talking to me right now. I don't know why, but it's probably because he's unhappy about his 90.
And this wouldn't be the only issue Ronald had with NBA stars either. He's gotten into it with the likes of Ben Simmons and even John Wall's former Kentucky teammate DeMarcus Cousins. During a live stream, Ronald forgot he was live. He took a phone call, his phone was on speaker, and on this call, his true feelings towards DeMarcus Cousins was revealed to the world.
Cousins is such a dick. Like, I can see him just being like, I don't want to fucking do this.
In response, Melly would take to Twitter to respond with a gift that comes from the film Menace to Society, where the officer interrogating Kane goes on to say,
Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
once Ronald caught wind of this situation, he
I'm trying to cop no please. Nah, bro. That's how you was feeling, bro. Stop trying to cop them please. Stand on
He
that.
goes on to blame stress as the reason why he chose to throw dirt on Cousins' name. But if I could interject my own opinion into this situation, I got to call Cap. Ronald doesn't just have a nasty attitude either. This man is a liar. This man has been caught lying so much. I took to Twitter to ask you, the viewer, what are some of your favorite lies from Ronald over the years? And here are just a few.
Wow, this is gonna be good, bro. This is gonna be
Said
good.
we can
Capping
respec our
that
bills a
boy.
few years ago.
Oh my god. For somebody like, do he even play the game? Did he stop playing? Like, I wonder when he stopped playing the game, because there's no way in good faith, if you've been playing this game every year, that you would sit up there and talk out the side of your neck and say that you could respec a bill. No shot.
Years ago, when he said it's time
No
to
shot.
cheese. Underwater parks are coming to 2K17, baby. Oh, and Yeezys are coming to NBA 2K17 too. Pie charts are gone in NBA 2K21. And we can't forget everybody's favorite. That's not the neighborhood, but you guys can think whatever you want. And if I can add on to this one, I actually remember this one because when he said it, he said that shit so sassy. He might as well snap 3 times after he said it. But you want to know the most disappointing thing about his behavior? He doesn't seem to care. He will use his power to get back at anyone he feels slighted him. An example being the issues him and Ben Simmons had. Ben Simmons was upset about his rating in the game that year, and the two exchanged some words via Twitter. Now, I'm not defending what Ben said, but Ben later did end up at the same Nike event as Ronnie, and the two patched things up. As a peace treaty, they decided to take a photo together to post to social media. After patching things up, you would think the caption on that image would be something along the lines of, Ben Simmons and I talk like two men to put our differences aside, and we now know it was all a misunderstanding, and now we're both excited for the latest NBA 2K. That's what a professional would have done. But Ronald, being the egotistical, vindictive man that he is, had a different idea. Now, I couldn't find the photo as proof, because people take photos down all the time, but what I did manage to find is Ronnie on a podcast bragging how he captioned that photo with him and Ben.
I don't know if you saw the Ben Simmons thing. Did you see that? On launch day, he was at the Nike event, and he was one of the first athletes that came out to me. He's like, "Hey, where's my copy of 2K?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought you didn't play. Like, isn't that what you said on Twitter?" And he was like, "Oh shoot." He was like, ultimately he forgot that he said that. So I was like, "Oh, the only way I'm giving you a copy of 2K is if you take a picture with me holding the cover of the game," because he had said all that stuff. So my caption was, "This guy neither plays 2K nor knows who I am, and yet here he is holding a copy of 2K, putting his arm around me."
The crazy part is that this is just the
Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Even if you didn't play the game, dude. Like, just as a show of good faith, you just like, hey, we not arguing. You on the game, bro. You supporting the game. I'm the community manager, so there's gonna be positive for the game that I'm not going after athletes. But that's
This is
corny.
just the tip of the iceberg.
What you just
Ronnie's
did
numerous
right there
negative
is
interactions
corny,
with
bro.
celebrities and community members would reach a boiling point eventually. A boiling point that would see some of 2K's most prominent community voices begin to push back. An event that I'm calling Community manager is one of the toughest jobs in the gaming industry. And it's because not only are you in charge of relaying info to your community, but you also have to manage a lot of egos. And when I say egos, I don't just mean the communities, but your own. It takes a person with thick skin and emotional maturity to understand people will express themselves in all different types of ways, so you can't take everything personal. Something I think LD2K does much better than Ronnie. And that's not to say some of y'all don't go overboard, because y'all do. Let's get something straight. Harassing developers and community managers is never cool. I'm not condoning that. Let's never forget we are talking about video games. That being said, someone who signs up for the role of community manager for a massive game has to understand the difference between a passionate fan and a flat out hater or aggressor. For all those college degrees and on the job experience Ronald has acquired over the years, this is one class I believe he never attended. See, Ronald barely did anything as the community manager besides piss people off, and naturally this left the community scratching their heads how this man earned a promotion. When you and I do a bad job, we either get our hours reduced or we just get flat out fired. But when Ronald does a bad job, he got promoted to the face of NBA 2K according to his bio. Now, if that bio doesn't reek of ego, I don't know what does. But according to his LinkedIn, his real job title at the moment.
Hold on. What? But like, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit to what he said about being a community manager, right? Like, in his sense, I think the banter he has with athletes is good for the game because it gets people talking about the game. But as far as him going and doing the corny stuff, like the Ben Simmons example, like, aren't you had the back and forth, then you patch it up, and you're like, it was just, it's entertainment, it's content. It's a difference between doing that and like you had your little interaction, and then like you say you and John Wall was good friends or something like that. But you act like that on he left it right there to say that. He left it right there. Ben Simmons, the John Wall situation, all right. Ben Simmons situation, wrong. You ended it wrong by going on there being like, you don't play the game, attack Ben Simmons. Like, it's corny. It's corny, bro. Like, you can have your little banter and trolling. Like, everybody, I enjoy a good troll. I enjoy, like, you know what I'm saying. If it's funny, not if it's malicious. Like, so with that being said, Ronnie, bro, yeah, all you did was piss everybody off. Like, I don't remember tweets, bro, after the game being like fucking up and crashing and shit. Like, the parks ain't loading. Like, it's big ass boxes in the park and shit. Like, and then Ronnie saying next to nothing about what's going on with his major issues going on with the game. We like, hey, send this up to somebody. Like, you're supposed to be speaking for us or whatever. You're supposed to be like the one that played the game, and you're supposed to relate to us, bro. So that's where I'm like, again, I feel like his promotion was solely based on all press is good press, because his name is synonymous with the game now. Like, Ronnie, Ronnie, Ronnie. Like, every time with 2K, like, you can't have 2K without Ronnie. I mean,
title
you
at the moment
could, but
is head
like
of digital
that's just
lifestyle
how it
marketing. I
is
went
now.
ahead and asked Perplexity AI what that meant, and it said Ronnie was responsible for number one, community engagement. Ronnie acts as a bridge between the NBA 2K franchise and its players, engaging directly with the community through social media, live streams, and events. This direct interaction allows him to gather feedback and insight from players, which can inform game development and marketing strategies. The second thing he does is cultural integration. His role expands beyond traditional marketing. He integrates aspects of sports, music, and fashion into the 2K experience. This involves collaborating with athletes, musicians, and influencers to create culturally relevant gaming environments that resonate with a diverse audience. Ronnie's understanding of these cultural dynamics helped 2K embed itself within various cultural spaces, making the game more than just a sports simulation. The third thing he does is content creation. As the face of NBA 2K, Ronnie's involved with creating engaging content that promotes the game. This includes hosting events, conducting interviews, and revealing game ratings, all aimed at generating excitement and maintaining player interest. The fourth and final thing that he does is philanthropy and outreach. Beyond marketing, Ronnie is also committed to social causes. He participates in initiatives like the 2K Foundation, which focuses on renovating basketball courts in underserved communities, and he's an active member of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which grants wishes to children with critical illnesses. But I'm gonna keep it 100. I have a hard time believing that a child's last wish is to hang out with a Ronnie. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying I'm having a hard time believing that. Now,
All right. Shoot Ronnie some bail. Let's say maybe they didn't ask for him specifically, but they asked for a copy of 2K or something. Like they in a hospital room and they like, all I want to do is play 2K. Like I don't want to go to Disney World. I don't want to do nothing. And then like you have Ronnie2K pull up, plug the game in. You feel me? Maybe maybe a kid would be excited for
he has
that. I don't
basically
know.
become the full-blown figurehead for NBA 2K. Anyone with eyes can see he basically gets paid to hang out with rappers, celebrities, and influencers. He butters them up so they'll appear in either their next game or some event he's about to throw. So he's essentially a paid socialite for NBA 2K. And with the focus shifting away from the community and more towards being seen on the scene, disdain for this man would grow even larger from the people who play the game. Whispers of laziness started around NBA 2K17, but I could see the full-blown shift from happy to disgruntled customers happened during the release of NBA 2K18. That was the first game in the series where I remember feeling like the focus shifted away from making a great game to instead trying to maximize their profits. And that's because 2K18 is the year where we were introduced to the neighborhood, which served as a prelude to what eventually would become the city. The neighborhood gave the dev team more space to put billboards in the game, which they used to sell as ad space inside of the game. All these extra ads slowed down the game online, which created an unpleasant experience. Meanwhile, the community was suffering from an overpowered and overused move known as the snatchback. And did Ronnie relay that info to the dev team to nerf the snatchback? No, he was too busy being too cool for school on social media.
But like a lot of the trolling is about servers and gameplay.
As the years went
Like that's the how are you mad that people are calling out the game for not working? Like the servers and gameplay in this day and age is like it's the first thing. It's that should come first. That's priority number one, bro. Like what are you speaking about right now? Like why are you mad that people are bringing that up? Why do you
As the
feel a
years
way
went on,
about that?
tensions began to boil over. People were sick and tired of being treated as this infinite money glitch, and prominent members within the 2K community began to speak out against the powers that be. And those voices became very loud. Well, before I get into it, just hear me out. My favorite video game of all time is the original Mass Effect trilogy, which, side note, if you haven't played it already, I can't stress enough you should. Mass Effect Legendary Edition comes with all 3 games remastered, plus the DLC, and it always is on sale for like $5. Plus, I believe it's free on the Game Pass, but this is not an ad. The reason I'm referencing that game is because in Mass Effect 1, early on in the game, when you reach the Citadel, you'll meet someone who joins your party named Erdnot Rex. And in the first interaction with him, you'll find out you two are both searching for the same person. Now, before he joins your party, this man drops the meanest quote that made me scrunch up my face. I mean, I instantly turned into a fan of the series when I heard him say,
"My people have a saying, seek the enemy of your enemy, and you will find a friend."
Now, Ronnie2K is not my enemy, but he for damn sure is not my friend either. So for this section of the video, I decided to take a play out of Rex's playbook and call up some enemies of my enemy. What I'm getting at is, I reached out to as many 2K creators as I could, and I asked them, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the name Ronnie2K? I did not influence anyone's answer.
Ronnie is the guy who, after the game crashes, who after the the servers slow as hell, after I'm getting kicked out of the park, after anything that goes wrong, Ronnie, why is the VC too high? He's the person that need to answer these questions right away. If not him, it's Mike Wang. But we know Ronnie is the person to go to because he's the person we're supposed to go to when something going wrong. You're supposed to take it to the man above to fix the shit. So when something going wrong, we coming to you, Ronnie. But we know that you're gonna send a tweet and say, it ain't that bad or some shit like that. You gonna give us the runaround, bro. You the runaround mans. So when something going wrong in the game, it's Ronald's fault. Not skill stuff. I'm talking about just the game. We keeping it about the game and the gameplay and the things that pertain to the game. The cheese, the shit like that. You patching shit that ain't supposed to be patched. Patching jump shots. Patching, you know what I'm saying? Tell them to take the patch off.
Answer.
Patching
I
wrong.
actually encouraged everyone to say whatever they like. Just be honest. That's all I asked. And here's the screenshot as proof. And what they said when I asked, what's the first thing to come to mind when you think of Ronnie2K? They said,
what comes to mind when thinking of Ronnie2K, the online personality? I'll let these lyrics speak for itself. You a fan, a phony, a fake, a stan, I still whip your you 36 in a karate class, you tie bow ho, trying to work it out, you trying to get brolic, ask me if I'm trying to kick knowledge, nah, I'm trying to kick that shit you need to learn though, that ether, that shit that make your soul burn slow, is he Dame Diddy, Dame Daddy, or Dame Dummy, oh I get it, you Biggie and he's Puffy, I'm sorry y'all, that's what comes to mind. Now I'm sure Ronnie Singh, he's a good guy, Ronnie2K.
The first thing I think about when I hear the name Ronnie2K is liar. I feel like most of the community feels
That's it too. Liar. And I know I gave a long-winded speech, but to put a bow on it, liar, capper,
that way. He'll say anything to market the game. This is history that can't be rewritten. When he decides to hang it up, that's how millions of people will remember him.
First thing that comes to mind is, what does he do? What did he do in the past to get the position that he got right now? Like, for real, no diss, and maybe this is a diss. I just don't know exactly what makes him so qualified for the position that he got right now, and especially to the point where he's talking and moving the way that he's moving. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Ronnie2K is, what does he do?
What's the first thing that I think of when I hear the name Ronnie2K? Scapegoat. Most people are going to say some negative thing about Ronnie2K. And look, I don't know the guy, but it's very clear what his role is. 2K are one of the most predatory companies when it comes to gaming. But nobody's out there blaming Strez Zelnick. Nobody's blaming the fact that they probably have as many people as any other company in the world on a live service team that's goal is purely to get people hooked on spending money on their games. He is the...
This is very true. This is very true, and I like that he got a different approach. Respectfully. But he is the community, whatever they said he was. He got this new title now, but he's supposed to be like the community manager, right? You're supposed to be with the people because you was a fan of the game. I already said this. You're supposed to be in the foxhole with us playing 2K, enjoying the game. So if we tell you something that's going on that's not helping us enjoy the game, if that makes you a scapegoat, so be it. But this is what you signed up for. You know what I'm saying? Negativity or not, scapegoat or not, we know what they're gonna do with the game. But people so far in the rabbit hole of 2K and spending money on VC and buying it annually that it don't matter. Ronnie could be an AI bot for the rest of forever. They could have a bot called Ronnie from now on. They could put up a little cartoon character and all the live streams and everything. And it wouldn't matter because why? People are still going to buy 2K. People are already hooked. The job is done. But his job is to lessen the blow for everybody else when something is going wrong with the game. Be the bridge. He's no longer a bridge. He is a messenger from what's coming up from corporate. So do I feel bad for him? To a degree.
I don't know the guy, but it's very clear what his role is. 2K are one of the most predatory companies when it comes to gaming. But Nobody's out there blaming Strauss Zelnick. Nobody's blaming the fact that they probably have as many people as any other company in Worlds on a live service team that's goal is purely to get people hooked on spending money on their games. He is the scapegoat. Every flaw with this game gets thrown on Ronnie2K. What that means is the people that are actually making the detrimental decisions for 2K can get away with whatever the hell they want to do, because no matter what, all the blame gets put on Ronnie2K.
Ronnie2K. Look, the only thing I'm going to choose to say, there are a lot of high-level creators, a lot of top-tier 2K creators who don't have a relationship with 2K today, almost solely based off their relationship with Ronnie2K.
So the first thing I think about when I think of Ronnie2K, he is a bot. I don't know what Ronnie2K does other than just exist and take pictures with Instagram celebrities, but at this point, he is just here to just be here.
First thing that comes to mind is diva. Another will be, I'm sure, a word that's been thrown around all over the place is a liar. Look, I understand that his job is to sell the game, but you don't do it at the expense of your consumers. It's almost as if he chose commerce over conscience, blatantly telling someone that, you know, oh, you're gonna get Yeezys in 2K17, or another game where you're telling people you can respect your build, so you don't have to make 17 my players. And it's exactly what people ended up having to do because you weren't able to do that. And then him turning back around and saying that, well, I was under the impression you could respect your build. How do you not know if that's the case or not?
But it's stuff like that to where I don't feel bad about the scapegoat rebuttal I just had, because you could have easily been like, I'm sorry, y'all. Like this is what he could have said instead of saying you could respect your build. If you want to, if you make your build, I'm pretty sure the game should tell you this. If you make this build, know that you cannot go back. So be careful. Be careful. If you be sure you want to make that 5'7" point guard. Be sure you want to make that 6'9" center with 60 rebound and 75 ball handling. Be sure that you want to do that because you cannot go back. Don't waste your money. He could have easily just said that, and it's out of my hands, guys. I can go up top to corporate, but I'm pretty sure that they're not gonna let you go back and respect this bill. Like the honesty will go way further than you just simply capping. So everything that goes wrong with the game, if you want to sit here and lie, you just made it easier for people to just put all the blame on you. Anywho.
First comes to mind when I hear Ronnie2K's name, I immediately think scam artist and liar. Right now, Ronnie2K, I think, is just promoting whatever new rookie is going to be out in the game to get the new annual release some clout. Last year, it was Victor Wembanyama. This year, it's LeBron James's son. And he just kind of like gives a little suspense about the new rookie's overall rating. I just think that whole thing and the whole way he's promoting it is just such a weird way to do it. The only reason 2K even gets money and gets players is because it's the only basketball video game out there. I don't think Ronnie2K boosts the sales. And
that's a great point. And I'm kind of mad at myself that I didn't say it up to this point. The lack of competition and the lack of EA being able to compete with them when they had their chance. And nobody wanted to give Live a chance. NBA Live. It used to be live in 2K.
Any way, shape, or form. First thing he talked about and promised to the 2K community for NBA 2K20 was being able to respec your players. And guess what? When the game came out, there was no respec option. People were expecting it to come out in a patch. And guess what? It never did. The other thing that he lied about in the same year, as a matter of fact, was a new park. He promised a new park, a new revamped park. Guess what? When the trailer came out for the park, it was the exact same thing as NBA 2K19. Things that people look forward to in the next NBA 2K release. He is just a liar. I don't know why people even follow him. I don't know why he even has any form of clout to begin with. And the community, for whatever reason, kisses up to him because they want to get, invited to these stupid events that come around before the new 2K releases.
The first thing that comes to my mind when it comes to Ronnie2K is the fact that he's like the hype man for NBA 2K. And I feel like it's just his main job is to make NBA 2K look cool or feel like the cool game. I think it's Ronnie2K's job to maintain all of those relationships with these people that have these platforms being like, oh, look at NBA 2K in a positive light. Now, the marketing stuff that he does isn't the reason why I buy the game, don't get me wrong, but it is his job to keep making content about 2K in a positive light. He's not the gameplay director like Mike Wang. He's not Chris Manning. His job is to just promote the game and just hang around cool people. That's how I see it.
First thing I think about when I hear Ronnie2K is salesman, marketer. I think what a lot of people misunderstand about Ronnie is they think he's some kind of developer, and his job really is not to fix the game. It's not to develop the game. It's not even to really inform you about the game, right? What his job is to promote the game, to sell you the game. I think Ronnie gets a lot more focus from us. When things go wrong, he becomes the target. But in reality, he's really just a messenger, man.
The first thing I think of when I think of Ronnie2K, a liar, a scammer, a deceiver, a manipulator, a coward, a fraud. On top of that, I would be disingenuous if I didn't say also a scapegoat, the face of a bigger problem, a guy that everyone can point to put unnecessary blame on in some instances. Don't get me wrong, I have my gripes with Ronnie. And my biggest thing, he's a tremendous liar. The way he's maneuvered like he's some type of celebrity, all because of the 2K behind his first name. I've never seen someone's ego just inflate with these minuscule connections to these basketball players or celebrities that is just undeserved. We all had the same question. What does Ronnie even do for 2K other than put his face in front of all the bullets they take?
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear Ronnie2K? The word extra is the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah. And it's just going to be the same. It's going to be the same thing over and over, bro. But pretty much, like I get it, bro. I get it, but I'm gonna keep pushing this, that if he's the one that's supposed to be listening to us because we can't go to the developers and we can't go to the suits, I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for him. And the way his demeanor and his attitude helped me just not feel bad for him. I don't want to say it a million times.
And I kind of think it's a perfect word. Whenever 2K decides to include Ronnie2K in the rollout of the game, it's always an extra step that, in my opinion, we could do without. 2K21, this year, their whole thing was, yo, we got a city in the game. They drop a trailer, but there's a whole lot of unanswered questions about what's going to be in the city. How do 2K decide to answer those questions? They make us go to Ronnie2K's personal YouTube channel, and he's doing a premiere of the city where he's giving us our first official tour. And I'm just like, why couldn't y'all drop this on y'all channel? It's always an extra step that, in my opinion, we could honestly do without.
So what's the first thing I think of when I hear Ronnie2K? To be honest, when I think of Ronnie, I think of a lot of creators and people not being able to speak their mind because they want benefits, because they want to almost be friends with this community figure. All in all, I don't think he's a bad person, but I do think there's a genuine conversation to be had. Does it actually help the community?
Like, as far as going to events and stuff like that, yeah, but that don't mean they like necessarily like him. They just use him, and I think he knows that he has that upper hand, so they just will continue to use him. Like, that's all it is. He's a tool. He's a bridge for them, but he ain't a bridge for the greater community, like the casual player, the ones that's not. When I was not making content, I just wanted to play the game and play a good game, bro. Like, I didn't care. I didn't care to go call out Ronnie and tweet at Ronnie to be like, oh, well, the game sucks. It's slow. The server's bad. Like, stuff like that. Like, and how good is these events to where, and these benefits for like a new copy and all this other stuff? Like, what else is y'all getting at these events besides like getting an invite? Like, I need to know. I need to know, is it worth it? Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Conversation to be had. Does it actually help the community? Do creators, do supporters, do consumers actually benefit from Ronnie2K being around?
When I think of Ronnie2K, I think of a puppet, a scapegoat, meant to generate hype by any means possible and take backlash meant for 2K. But yeah, man, he just a figurehead. He don't make the game. He controls little. Maybe with the community day stuff, he's just a robot, but he's a goddamn liar.
When I hear the name Ronnie2K, I think of a liar. I don't think it's always 100% his fault. There's definitely miscommunication between the development team and Ronnie2K, the social media manager. Some of the things he be telling us that's in games aren't there, and that's why I think of a liar.
So what's the first thing I think of when I hear the name Ronnie2K? Pathological liar. It's things he didn't have to lie about. It's things that he lied about to attempt to sell the game that I think people would have bought the game anyway. Saying it's not the same neighborhood when it indeed was. Telling us, the biggest one in my opinion, telling people that they can respect their build. And we've never been able to respect anything.
That's egregious. Every time I hear it, it's just like nails on a chalkboard. It just irritates the shit out of me, and I don't even play this game no more. Fuck do you mean you can respect? Like, shit is offensive. like I feel like you insulting my intelligence by telling me something like that. Like, as much money as 2K make off VC and microtransactions, why the hell would they give that up if they could just let you just continue to like morph your player into whatever you want them to be? I feel like he was insulting intelligence right there. Cancel him. No, I'm just kidding. That's some hater shit.
Now, you just heard a variety of opinions from people who produce 2K content in the community, and most of it was negative. Earlier in this video, I gave a few reasons why people feel this way, but I'm not done just yet. I now want to shift focus to 3 specific creators. I chose these 3 people because honestly, most people hate this man, and we ain't got all day to cover all that hatred. So instead, the first person I want to touch on is FTC. Flight team stand up! Flight is a very successful content creator on YouTube and Twitch who first opened his YouTube channel back in 2013. He first appeared on my radar around 2015 when he was still fairly unknown, and that's because he began to build a name for himself capping for one of the most dog shit video games ever produced, NBA Live 16.
We are officially back on the greatest basketball game to ever be created!
Now, once NBA Live began to fall off for a second time, he swiftly changed his content up to appease the growing market that was 2K. He used that momentum he got from his NBA Live videos to produce 2K related content, reactions, and more. I am a fan of this guy, and my favorite type of content he does is when he streams his adventures in the park. The people that pull up on this man to attempt to drop him off is top tier comedy.
Hold on. Bro, watch him. You see that? Fucking watch him! What the
Flight be tweaking out, bro. But I seen a video of this man playing college football, destroys the controller, and then just busts open a fresh one. Like, like the standby controller is crazy work. And then he continues to play. Like, no break, no nothing, just continue.
Oh shit. Bitch ass nigga 12 zip. Fucking broke my controller, my nigga. Fuck, man. Fuck, damn it, bro. Fuck, bro.
This must have been the birth for that. A backup controller. Cause he broke he was genuinely mad. He ain't have no backup plan. He broke that controller. He ain't think nothing about it.
No fucking controller! Fuck! Fuck! The fuck! Friend!
But something would change with Flight as he got older. He went from strictly making comedic style content and reactions to speaking up against the corporation that is 2K Games. He, like many other virtual hoopers, became frustrated with the worsening gameplay, laggy servers, and the annual increase in VC prices. So he started to use his platform for good. And it turns out that Flight wasn't necessarily the hero we wanted, but he was the hero we needed.
You know how lazy 2K is, bro? Like, they didn't even put his number, bro. I just realized that. So Zion Williamson doesn't have a number now? Ronald, you stupid ass fucking dev. Zion doesn't have a fucking number now? Are you serious? I just noticed that shit. Like, imagine marketing something like this and you don't even have his jersey number.
One quick search on YouTube and you will find countless rage compilations of Flight going at Ronnie2K and Mike Wang. All this hatred coming from his heart would eventually lead to several run-ins with Ronald. And the most infamous encounter between these two would be over a 2K logo. For those of you who don't play 2K, a logo is something given out annually to certain content creators, celebrities, and NBA players. This special logo floats above players' heads when they're online playing multiplayer, so if anyone sees you in the park, they'll know you're a person of influence. The reason you want a logo is because it made it easier to get games and it made you valid in the community. People want to challenge you if they saw that logo, so it made it easier to get content, and also I'd imagine it just felt good for some people in the community because it was also a sign that you quote-unquote made it. Logos have been a topic of hot discussion in the community because the way in which they're rewarded is very vague and inconsistent, and some argue it's used as a weapon against the community. A lot of people want a logo, but what comes with that is an allegiance to a man with a fragile ego who's bound to drop you from the creator program, or you just won't get an invite if they don't like the way you speak about the game. If I can interject my own opinion into this topic, I wouldn't say it's ruined 2K because microtransactions did, but the logo certainly hasn't helped. As someone who's been a content creator for almost 18 years, 14 of which has been full-time, I've lost count of the number of events that I've been to where I got to preview a game early and produce content for it. And I can honestly say it has never once influenced my thoughts on a game. Matter of fact, I've been blackballed by several companies because I'm honest when I'm not impressed in my preview videos. That being said, I'm also a critical thinker. I think it's disingenuous to say people can't be influenced. I've seen it firsthand, especially dealing with a kid who comes from nothing. What? Getting flown out by your favorite game company? That can influence your thoughts if you're not mentally strong. But to say everyone is, I don't think that's fair either. The problem is that it's hard to tell who's trustworthy in the community and who's not. It's like witnessing a pack of lions running towards you, right? Yeah, one might be friendly, but what about the other 5? Do I sit around and try to figure out which ones are nice, or do I just run? Originally, logos were presented as a token of appreciation to creators who put in work creating content around 2K and garnered a large following because of it, but over the years, many have expressed concerns about nepotism. Many people would notice that the only people who seem to get a logo in the game are people who aren't critical of 2K. At the time of this recording, Flight averages almost 8,000 concurrent viewers on Twitch with millions of views on YouTube. That makes him one of the largest creators in the 2K space. And you would think he'd get a logo, right? Wrong. When he first tried to get one, he was a bit smaller of a creator, but he was still large enough that he was qualified. I mean, he was averaging hundreds of thousands of views on.
But you know dang well, bro. You know dang well if he said anything negative, like that one clip you just showed could have just ended it for Ronnie, bro. He exposed Ben Simmons for less. He came at DeMarcus Cousins probably for something that wasn't even that serious. Called the man out his name and some more. Like, so this is not surprising, but like for a logo, I never feel like it's worth it for your dignity, bro. For your dignity, for a logo, let your name speak for yourself. Fuck that logo and fuck them events, man.
Thousands of views on every YouTube video, and he had a few thousand on Twitch. Yet for some odd reason, Flight would never get a logo. Words were often exchanged on social media because of this, and sometimes it would get nasty between him and Ronnie. But as Flight's fan base continued to grow throughout the years, Ronnie would try to rectify the situation by offering a logo. Instead, Flight turned it down because he wanted to maintain his freedom of speech. Now Ronnie and 2K were being criticized for backtracking on their
Yes. Good job, Flight. Good job. Fuck that logo.
original stance, where they originally said he wasn't endorsable due to his history of attacking developers. But now all of a sudden you have a change of heart simply because he became so big they couldn't deny his greatness, and plus people wanted to see him at Community Day. People did not like the flip-flopping that 2K and Ronald were doing, so many in the community would go on to say, "That's no good." But lucky for Flight, Ronald has incredible stamina, so eventually the two parties would move on. I mean, why beef with him when you could also beef with Agent Beamstar? Before Drake made it uncool to be from Toronto, there was a creator that managed to sneak through US customs in the early 2010s.
These agent rants on 2K, because it'd just be bar for bar what was going on with the game, and man, like he raised this game for so. Man, he cooked 2K in so many videos, bro. It's bringing me back, bro. This is what I knew Agent for, was the 2K content, not the AMP shit. It was the agent shooting threes on 2K, and then all of a sudden, this nigga was not happy with 2K no more. He just exposed everything. I don't even know if he played a game no more. I know he probably, what he got? If I go on Twitch, I ain't gonna go on Twitch, but like last time I checked, like 12,000 viewers. So within that little last couple years, he done got out of here on 2K. And it's so funny that all of these big creators come from just playing 2K. And I bet he ain't gonna get no fucking logo.
And his name was Agent. Agent first rose to prominence on YouTube producing your typical 2K content on whatever was the new game at the time. He had your standard My Career videos, tutorials, park funny moments, and more, but I think he really had his glow up around the time of his Agent Beamstar character. See, Agent had this series where he would do a parody of a racist garden gnome who thought he was as fast as Barry Allen, but more importantly, he just loved to shout.
Everybody type in the chat, Alex is a stupid
Jokes aside, in this series, Agent would use his platform to criticize the game that he loved. The highlight for me is a documentary he produced called Goodbye NBA 2K. For 15 minutes, he stood in the middle of the forest dressed like an extra in SOCOM Fireteam Bravo, breaking down the downfall of NBA 2K. And some would even say this video of him standing in the forest is what influenced the new WNBA parks in 2K25.
You're done. You're done.
In Agent's content, he never really raised his voice, and I don't recall him ever calling anybody out of their name. He just critiqued the game, and everyone loved him because of that. The main thing I recall him doing is introducing the word latency to the mainstream. I and other gamers who play all types of games knew what that was, but when he started saying it, 2K heads adopted the
I'm sick, but yeah, bro, this is what it was, because he was really speaking to a higher degree about what was going on with the game that my, at the time, 14-year-old brain was not computing or did not know. It was just get on the game and play 2K. I didn't know what the hell latency was. I didn't know what that shit was. You know what I'm saying? Going in depth about what was wrong with the game. I knew it was things wrong with the game, but I could not put them into words. And he did it for us. And that's why I appreciate what he did in these videos when he's saying goodbye 2K. He was like, fix it 2K and critiquing the game. And you know what they did? They ain't fixed that shit, man. But I appreciate Agent for doing that shit.
The word latency, like black folks adopted the word prerogative when Bobby Brown dropped his Don't Be Cruel album in 1988. Everyone loved him for being the voice of the little guy. Everyone except for Ronnie2K. He didn't like being called out for his lack of transparency and just flat out lying at times, and this led to Agent not being invited to Community Day, a day where creators get early access to the latest games so they can produce content early and get all the views. Tensions really came to a boiling point when Ronald said Agent should be grateful because he was the only reason Agent could stay in America. Keep in mind, he's Canadian. Ronnie claimed he was the reason Agent's visa was greenlit, but Agent had some pushback on that.
Being in America, if it wasn't for me, I helped him with a visa, and now, like, you guys don't know the full story. Like, I helped him with a visa so he could come to America. I wrote him a letter, and then he has the audacity to
See, but this is what I be talking about the corny stuff, about the lame stuff with him, bro. With you, Ronald. Even if you did do that, even if it was true, why is you bringing that up? Why is you bringing, what does that do for you? It doesn't do anything for you. And I'm sorry, you've seen the small sample size of people that think he is lying to have a platform. I don't believe you, bro. Even if it was true, I still wouldn't believe you. You could show me the letter and the paperwork, and I still wouldn't believe you, bro.
continue to act poorly towards me. So yeah, I don't really like that very much. If I do you a favor of such a magnitude, that's no problem.
Agent acknowledged that Ronnie did sign a document for his O1 visa, which is typically for individuals with extraordinary abilities such as athletes and entertainers. However, Agent did clarify that document Ronnie signed was not ultimately used in the successful visa application because it had expired. Instead, Agent relied on other support, including from his immigration lawyer and other contacts to secure his visa. He argued that Ronnie exaggerated his role in the process, and then he used it as leverage to influence Agent's content and interactions with the 2K community. Basically, he said Ronnie is a master manipulator and he loves to throw around
accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations.
And by the way, as far as the community day stuff goes, if I could add one more side note, I'm not gonna say no names and I'm not gonna show no DMs. This is a moment where you're gonna have to choose to either take my word for it or you could just think I'm a liar. But you remember that montage of creators earlier in this video talking about Ronnie? Well, they weren't the only people I wanted in this video. I sent out a ton of DMs and I had several people who attended the 2024 community day respond to me with something along the lines of a variation of like, I have stories about Ronald, but I don't want to, be messy. I don't want to burn any bridges, so I'd rather leave it alone. And I'm going to respect their decision. But I will say, it's hard to call something community day if a good portion of your community is afraid to speak their mind. Lucky for us, Agent wasn't, and he did the best thing he could do, which is leave the 2K community. Since then, he's gone on to create the wildly popular group AMP, and he continues to inspire me and many others, so salute to you, my brother. But that's not it. The first two creators I wanted to highlight represented two different things within the 2K community. Flight to me represents the passionate side of gamers who mean well, but sometimes they just be doing a little bit too much. And then there's Agent, who represents the more centered, grounded, mature side of gamers who just wants to see the game do better. And then there's me, the final boss. I represent both sides of the force. If you're a fan of the Boondocks, you're gonna understand what I'm about to say. Some days I'm Huey, and some days I'm Riley. And up until this point in the video, I've channeled more of my Huey with a hint of Riley, but now it's time for full-blown Riley to come out to play. First of all, let's get something straight. I don't consider myself a part of the 2K community. I am someone who just plays the games with their friends because it's the only basketball game on the market. That being said, I don't like to box myself in. So if the game isn't good, I just move on to other games. I will not allow 2K to stress me out. Video games are a form of entertainment and escapism, and don't ever forget that. Now, because I love basketball, every once in a while, I'll pop out and speak my mind on whatever is the current game that year. And because I'm not as active as other members in the 2K community, some of y'all might have forgot about my run-in with Ronald. So let me refresh your memory. Back in 2015, I released a video titled "The NBA 2K Community is a Joke." And in that video, I was very frustrated and I vented about all the problems I had faced in that year's game, which is sad because I went back and watched that video and a lot of the problems that I was talking about are still in the game today. I mentioned things such as broken builds, lazy community managers, online lag. Does any of that sound familiar? Yeah, it probably does. Long story short, that video got spread like wildfire on social media because back then it wasn't as many people speaking the truth, and I think it was refreshing to hear. Side note, I think a cool thing about that video is if you go check the comment section, you will find several major content creators showing love way before they blew up. I peeped in there Shofu, Cash Nasty, and Hoodie Sean in the comments, so shout out to y'all. But anyways, the video somehow makes its way to Ronnie, and instead of listening to my feedback, he chose to focus on how I said it instead of what I said. And I'm not gonna lie, I take accountability. In this video, I was a lot younger. I was cussing up a storm. Something in that game must have happened that was really bad that day that pissed me off, that made me want to cut on the mic. I started cussing up a storm and ranting about the game, but the truth is, every critique I had in that game was valid. And instead of passing along that info to the developers, Ronnie chose to get sassy with me. See, right here is his response to me on Twitter.
So, all right, between the cursing, now you already heard him explain it, but between the cursing, at least soak in some of the actual criticism of the game, because I gotta go back and watch the video, but I would assume that he said something technical wise that y'all could have improved on with the game that you could have had some type of influence on. But you want to be sassy. You want to be a sassy boy. You want to be a sassy boy. And why you spell mustard like that, bro?
And if you're wondering why he's talking to Mr. I Keep It Real, it's because that was my original Twitter name before I was able to secure the Black Hokage. He totally dismissed what I said in the video, all valid critiques, and instead chose to nitpick how I said it. Ronnie goes on to say, any third grader can throw a hit they back. Next video, give us actual. That's not the end though. He then proceeds to taunt me. And I'm gonna show you how petty this man is, because mind you, we had a short back and forth. We exchanged maybe like 2 or 3 tweets. After those 2 or 3 tweets, he decides to update his Twitter bio to say, Ronnie2K is your source for news at 2K, spokesperson who loves NBA, no affiliation to the servers. Now you might be wondering, why does any of this matter? It's because the reason he put that in his bio is because in my video, I was criticizing the online lag. Problem number 2. Dear 2K, your servers, they're grade A doo-doo butter. I swear to fucking God, your servers are held together with 2 banana peels. And the part, it lags out the fucking ass. You take a shot and it lags, so it fucks up your release. And half the courts, they don't even be working. And when they do, it takes a half hour to load into the game and a whole hour just to walk off the court or got next spot. So for anyone who's watching and is a first-time viewer who hasn't heard that story, and you wanted to know why his bio looked like that for like a good year or so, I'm the reason why. That's also the reason why my friends love to jokingly say, TBH, you should have never cursed during like random times on my stream. So if you're ever in my stream at twitch.tv/TheBlackHokage, you will now understand the inside joke, and you'll also understand why some people call Ronnie gaming's first supervillain. This supervillain had made things so bad that a hashtag started trending in 2020 called Fire Ronnie2K. Go on Twitter and search that hashtag. You will find countless tweets of community members complaining about Ronnie's communication style, misleading statements, and more. My favorite tweet that I found during my research was this guy who actually made shirts that said Fire Ronnie2K. If any of us were this bad at our jobs, we would have been fired. But the reality is that he doesn't get fired, and it's partially because of the community. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yeah, you. You can hate Ronnie all you want, but if you're not doing your part by resisting to spend excessive amounts of money on 2K, then what you're saying is just gonna fall on deaf ears. All the suits see is the quarterly reports, and the numbers look good, so to them, Ronnie's doing a great job. I'm just giving y'all some food for thought. Now, there's plenty more that I could cover about this guy, but instead, I want to end this video with a little bit more food for thought. I want to drop a gem, and I want to preface that food for thought with a quick disclaimer. Dear Ronald, what I'm about to say is not a reflection of anyone else who appeared in this video. These are my words and my thoughts only. You will not silence me. I'm not trying to go to community day. I'm not trying to kick it with you and Quavo. I don't care about early access to an annual basketball game. And to be honest, if I could speak to the community, I'm not sure why any of y'all want to be down with this guy or the company either. Your self-worth is not derived from a carrot being dangled above your head by a billion-dollar corporation that makes almost 70% of their profits off of microtransactions. The reality is that people just want to see a better game. We want to get away from being nickel and dimed every year and just get back to having fun. And obviously, Ronald is not just at fault here. The suits that own Take-Two Interactive play a major role in these financial decisions, but that doesn't change the fact that you do a piss-poor job of bridging the gap between the players and the owners. As someone who plays everything, I mean every type of game, I can't stress enough that Ronald's behavior is a very unique issue to 2K. I have never seen a community manager for any other game behave the way that he does. I think you are more obsessed with clout than doing your job. I mean, look around. I featured several creators in this video, numerous tweets, articles, references. I'm trying to tell you, it's not just me, I'm what the culture feeling. Your fragile ego can't handle any type of criticism, so you internalize everything as some type of personal attack. But the reality is that you don't give a fuck about the community, and to be honest, people only talk to you because they want something. But I'm gonna chill out. I'm not gonna go too crazy on, I'm not gonna go too hard. I'm not gonna crash out. Instead, I'm gonna let everybody know that I actually believe we should give Ronnie some grace. We're not gonna go too hard on him. And you might be wondering, why does Ronald deserve grace from us, the people? It all goes back to what I said earlier in this video. Ronald was born November 14th, 1982. And do you know what that makes you when you're born November 14th? According to Google, a Scorpio. Now, I'm not all into that zodiac stuff, but there are two things I do know. The first is water signs are said to be the most emotional of the zodiac, and second, I'm an asshole who commits to the bit. So I Googled, what are the known negative traits of a Scorpio? And do you know what it said? It said moody, stubborn, manipulative, controlling, aggressive, vengeful, and jealous. What does that sound like? I guess the point I'm trying to make is none of us can be upset with Ronald because the reality is he can't help it. He was born a bitch.
That's a great video, man. We're going to leave it off right there. I'm going to leave a link to this, the rise and fall of Ronnie2K, if you want it without the pausing and my extra commentary. Shout out to the Black Hokage. Great video, man. What else can I say that already hasn't been said? So without further ado, I'm going to get us up out of here. Go.